Chapter 31. You're so evil. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay. He nodded and stood up from his seat to go with her. The young boys of various clans gasped in amazement as the young princess picked the Tatrashi to accompany her. They were completely jealous of his luck. Sun Shui walked in front while looking back at Yu Yan, who was silently following behind her to the special area where no one was allowed to come. She had already asked the young miss of the Xia clan to let her have alone time with Yu Yan, so even Yuna had left this spot for the future lovebirds. Sun Shui gestured for him to take a seat as there were two couches present with a circular table in the middle which was arranged with fruit juices and scrumptious desserts. He sat up on the left couch while his mind was filled with questions about why she would bring him here. Sun Shui moved to his side and sat beside him. "I'm from Phoenix City. My name is Sun Shui," Princess said while she felt as if many butterflies were rushing to her heart, fluttering their wings all together. "I'm Yu Yan," the boy responded with a calm voice. "You might find it strange, but I called you here to ask you for a favor," she said with some hesitation as the princess thought he may turn her proposal down. "What favor?" Yu Yan asked with scrunched eyebrows. "Will you be my friend?" she said in a hurried tone as the blonde-haired beauty was nervous. "That's very suspicious," he said, putting his hands on his jaw and staring at the young princess with doubtful eyes. "How?" she questioned him with puffed cheeks as this was the first time someone refused to be her friend. "This fellow is just like his father. Bullying me since our first meeting. Usually, it was always the other party who wanted to be her friend, and this fellow was just like his father. You may have already heard that everyone calls me trash, and the story is famous for how I was born with a broken meridian. It doesn't make sense for the princess of Treasure Country to befriend me instead of the genius of the Yen clan or Wang clan. You could even befriend young miss of Tang clan." The boy explained his doubts in a composed manner. "No, I only want you as my friend, not others," Sun Shui said with puffed cheeks. "Why only me?" Yu Yan asked, raising his eyebrows. "I can't tell you that," the blonde-haired beauty said while avoiding his questioning gaze. "Aren't you being unreasonable here?" he said, looking at her flushed face. "Yeah, I am, but you won't believe me and probably run away from me if I tell you the real reason," Sun Shui said, looking at the floor as she was feeling bashful. "I'll not run away from you. You can tell me," he assured her with a tender voice and moved his hand to take the juice as he was feeling thirsty. "Promise." She spread her palm in front of him. He looked hesitant as the slender hand was presented to him. "Okay, I promise, I won't run away from you." Yu Yan placed his hands over her, which felt as if he touched a newborn child's skin. As their hands met each other, a golden dragon's head tattoo flickered on Yu Yan's forehead, which was visible to Sun Shui for a second before vanishing again. Those dreams are real. That means he is. The puzzle in Sun Shui's heart was solved as their hand linked for a moment. "Do you know what happened to my heart?" she said to him as the princess completely changed what she was originally going to tell him. That simple connection of hands caused Yu Yan's place to soar in her heart to become unshakable. "Know what happened?" he asked with a questioning glint in his eyes and took a sip from the fruit juice. "When the first time I saw you, I fell in love with you," Sun Shui said, a smooth line that was filled with deep adoration. Cough, cough, cough. Hearing her words, the boy almost choked on his drink and stared into the girl's scarlet eyes to check if she was serious. "Do you think I'll believe that?" Yu Yan asked, with an amusing tone in his voice. Although her words took him unprepared, but it didn't take him long to collect himself. "Nah, but I'm not lying. Since the moment I saw you, my heart is yearning for you. I don't know how to make you believe me. But I'm not asking you to be my lover. Can't you be my friend at least?" she said in a sorrowful tone, pleading to him as she couldn't tell him the truth. Yu Yan contemplated inwardly, wondering how everything happened all of a sudden today. Seeing him in hesitation, Sang Shui lost patience and said in a mischievous voice, "Now even after this if you refuse to be my friend then I'm going to bind you in shackles, wage a war on this city, and your clan to take you forcefully with me." "You're joking, right?" he asked with a forced smile. "No, I have never been this serious in my life." Sang Shui responded in a coyish voice, which exposed her that she wasn't serious. "Okay, I believe you," the boy said to her with a smile as he found her cute. "Then, are we friends now?" the blonde-haired beauty asked, looking at his innocent calm face in hope of a positive answer. "Do I have an option?" Yu Yan asked with a sarcastic tone. "Not at all," she shook her head in a cute manner. "You're so evil," he spoke to berate her and thought inwardly, but also very adorable. After they finally became friends, the girl decided to ask about the earlier. "Your friend said you're not the main character. Why don't you want to be the main character when the princess herself forcefully wanted you to be one?" Sang Shui asked in puzzlement, not understanding this boy's reasons. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Edited by The White Snow. Chapter 32. I'll show you the most beautiful love ever. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Our bad times can be a good teacher. Growing up with a broken meridian taught me that I have ground below my foot. I don't want to fly in the sky as I know my limit. He said with a bitter voice and his expression lacking any emotions. I will be your wings if you say a yes. Sang Shui said in a coquettish tone. Don't try being nice to me, missy. It won't help you. He said in a nonchalant tone. Hee. I will always be nice to you even if someday you hate me for some reason. Sang Shui said in her lively voice. After that, they started spending time together. Sang Shui treated him better than his clan members. She spent most of her time with him. A year passed. What are you doing here? Sang Shui asked the 14-year-old boy who was drenched in water. I went into the pond to find my mother's pendant. It's her last souvenir I have. Yu Yan said, looking at the cold pond with sorrowful eyes as it was already dark. His cousin had thrown it into the pond to bully him. Ah, you will catch a cold this way. Let me ask the guards to search it for you. She said in a concerned tone and brought out a white towel to dry his hair and body. I don't want you to use your family's background to be my friend. I'll look for my mother's pendant myself in the morning. Yu Yan said in a cold voice and left for his clan's house. He had a bad impression of the royal family because Yu Hao died while working for them. Sang Shui's heart ached to see his leaving figure. The next morning when Yu Yan came he saw a young maiden's figure shivering on the ground while her body was drenched in water. A pendant was held in her hand tightly in her grip as if it was the most precious thing in the world. Seeing her condition it was easy to understand what she had done. He took her in a bridal carry and brought her to a place to sit where sunlight was in rich amounts. Take out the towel, you silly girl, he said to her who had her hands wrapped around his neck. Sang Shui nodded in a cute manner while her teeth clattered from shivering and brought out a white towel that she used for Yu Yan yesterday. The boy took the towel to dry her body, not caring she was a girl as he helped her and used it on her curvaceous body. Yu Yan wrapped her body in the towel after he was done. Here, Sang Shui gave him the pendant of his mother. You shouldn't have done this, he said in a bitter voice. You can't take help from my family's background but I'm your friend and I don't need your permission to do something for you. I can't let my Yu Yan suffer in that freezing water in this cold weather. She responded to him in an affectionate-filled voice, that was mixed with shivering as the princess was still wearing wet clothes. What I'll do with you. He sighed in a defeated tone. Yu Yan, I love you. Tsang Shui said, looking at his handsome face. What? He was surprised to hear the sudden announcement. Although the princess had said it a year ago, but this was different now as they were already best friends. You can take your time to decide, but if you come to me I'll show you the most beautiful love ever, Tsang Shui said to him in a voice that flickered with deep love. 2 years passed. I have to leave for a few months. Tsang Shui said in a sorrowful voice as she didn't like going away from him. Don't be sad about it, Shui, he ruffled her hair. Would you remember me, Yu Yan? She asked while gazing into his affectionate-filled eyes. I have no choice or you would come and haunt me. He said in an amusing tone as the boy was used to her domineering nature. Don't you ever forget me. Tsang Shui said with puffed cheeks. Yeah, I won't. He said with a smile. That's a promise, she said, wrapping her hands around his neck. Yeah. Promise. The boy closed his eyes for a second in affirmation. I will miss you, Yu Yan, Tsang Shui said, moving closer to his face. She placed her hands behind his head to guide it towards her and sealed his lips using hers. An aromatic scent of rose invaded his nostril as her cherry-like red lips felt featherly against his skin. The blonde-haired beauty gently bit his lips and sucked them in a loving manner. The lovebirds kissed each other passionately and were lost in the blissful sensation of loving one another. After a moment passed they separated and Tsang Shui brought out a box from her spatial ring. This is for you. Open it after I leave this place and don't show it to others or they might steal it. She handed it to him. I also have something for you. Yu Yan said with a smile. What is it? Tsang Shui asked with puzzlement. Yu Yan moved and went behind her before binding a pendant around her neck. Why? Tsang Shui asked in disbelief. This is my mom's souvenir to Dad when they fell in love. So I decided to give this to the girl I love. He responded in a composed manner. The duo continued their conversation and spent their time together. As time passed, they heard a resounding explosion outside. The Heaven City was attacked by some mysterious organizations. Tsang Shui and other rankers fought to defend the city. The princess discovered they had come for her boy. Yuna take Yu Yan away. Tsang Shui said in an urgent voice, facing a black-robed masked man alone. But I can't leave you here alone. The pink-haired beauty said in a worried tone while a young unconscious boy was held in her embrace. Just save him. They are after his life. Tsang Shui requested her in a pleading tone. Yuna still didn't move as she wanted to help her friend. Seeing the pink-haired girl look hesitant, Tsang Shui urged her, hurry. Yuna nodded half-heartedly and took away the unconscious Yu Yan from the battle scene. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with Power Stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Edited by The White Snow. Chapter 33, A Tale of the Divine Realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In that fight, Tsang Shui got badly injured and was saved by royal family's experts. Her wounds were fatal, she didn't wake up and went into a comatose state. Emperor Wuhan brought her back to Phoenix City. He prohibited anyone from seeing her including Xia Yuna as he was enraged because his precious daughter got injured. After a month when Tsang Shui was sent to Phoenix City, the patriarch of the Xia clan broke the engagement of Yu Yan and Xia Yuna. Yu clan also didn't bother keeping the boy and announced to send him to the branch family. It appeared Xia Yuna had become closer to him in the time they had spent together because of Tsang Shui. She also had some deep emotions for the boy in her heart that was gradually developed because he was her ex-fiancé since childhood. When the pink-haired beauty saw him leaving Heaven City with an unemotional expression, she begged her grandfather to let him live at their house until Tsang Shui woke up. Her grandfather agreed and let him live at their servant quarters. Yuna often brought food for him and spent time with him as they were both upset for their friend. One night Yu Yan was contemplating in his room, his eyes were staring at a small box given by Tsang Shui. He hadn't opened it until this time because the boy didn't get time to relax. He was dealing with everything that was happening in his life one after another. Yu Yan opened the seal on the box and saw a letter within along with a glowing silver berry dot-like orb. He took the letter and opened it to read his lover's message. Chapter 34 I'll destroy the world for you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When the girl was brought in front of imposter Yu Yan, she didn't recognize him either, but her father said that she loved her in the past. Tsang Shui felt overwhelmed by this revelation as her heart didn't synchronize with the information given to her brain. Princess forbid from meeting anyone until she remembered anything by herself and spent her time on her own. The girl felt disconnected from everyone around her and became unemotional as time passed. Another year passed. It was a grand celebration for Tsang Shui's 19th birthday. Also, a day when she was going to be announced as the next empress for the throne. People from powerful clans had come for this lavish party from different parts of the continent. There was a handsome masked boy along with a beautiful pink-haired girl who had come to congratulate her. The mask was similar to what Meng Long wore in his new life. It only hid his eyes and forehead. Tsang Shui noticed them as the young couple came to greet her. "Hello princess, I'm Jin Long." Yu Yan said to Tsang Shui, who was having jumbled emotion in her heart the moment he entered the castle. "Why does this name sounds familiar?" Tsang Shui mumbled, which she didn't intend for others to hear. "Because it's going to be your future husband's name," he whispered with a cold smile. "How outrageous." Tsang Shui hissed at him and glared at the young man as this enraged her. She was the next empress and a random boy came to flirt with her. However, for some reason, she couldn't take the next step to call her guards to bind him into shackles. Her heart was telling her that this would make her sad. The people far away looked in her direction for a second, but she calmed down and they continued with their own business. "Why outrageous?" the boy asked with a smile. "I already have someone I love," Tsang Shui said, remembering the Yu Yan, who her father showed him in the past. "That guy. Known as the country's hero." "Ha ha ha." Yu Yan laughed as he found it amusing. "What's so funny?" Tsang Shui felt exasperated by this annoying fellow. "Do you love him because he is a hero, princess? A hero who always sacrifices their loved ones for the greater good. He will do the same and sacrifice you if the world demanded one day," the masked boy said with a chuckle. "That's what I'll do. We have to think about what's better for everyone. Won't you do the same?" Tsang Shui asked the boy who was being arrogant. "No princess. I don't follow such foolish ideals." Jin Long, aka Yu Yan, spoke while a chilly smile flashed on his masked face. "I'll annihilate the world for you." His cold voice resounded in the royal celebration hall, which made everyone feel shiver and turn their head to look in their direction. Empress's eyes widened as he fearlessly announced it to everyone. Her heart was in chaos, she never accepted the Yu Yan her father showed her. Tsang Shui always maintained a distance from him, but today her heart was fluttering with unknown emotions for a shameless guy who she never saw before. This is not good. He will get into trouble. Yuna took him out of the party, seeing his daring attempts to tease the future empress. "Why are you becoming so brazen?" Yuna asked him when they were alone outside. "Didn't we come for this, Yuna?" he asked with a smile. "Yeah. But." She stopped midway and hesitated to complete it. Yu Yan gave him doubtful look and urged her to speak. "It pains my heart to see the person I love to go for another woman," she said in a sorrowful voice. "Sorry, Yuna. It can't be helped." He ruffled her silky pink hair and walked away. After the grand celebration, Yu Yan disappeared from the Trasia country and went to cultivate in the wilderness. Yuna was captured by a secret organization and went through a difficult trial that corrupted her black dragon spirit and transformed it into unholy dragon because she wanted Yu Yan for herself. Unholy dragon became dominant in her body as both parties had Sang Shui as an obstacle in their plan. This awakening of unholy dragon caused the sky to turn red and influence people slowly who had at least 10 ranks of spirit energy in their bodies. Anyone who awakened a spirit would gradually have their loyalty to the Shillong Temple. The Shillong Temple people finally saw that their god awakened and came to worship Yuna, the unholy dragon. The world was gradually blinded by unholy dragon's power. Most people started worshipping Shillong Temple. The continent was split into 2 factions, Phoenix City and Shillong Temple. After a year passed, Shillong Temple waged a war on Phoenix City. Their goal was to capture Sang Shui, who was born with divinity. The Empress fought with the Shillong Temple people, but eventually, she was captured as more than 80% of the rankers were already under the Shillong Temple banner. The Shillong Temple decided to use her as a sacrifice to their goddess on the full moon of the next month. The girl was unconscious and kept in a prison at the Shillong Temple's headquarters. A golden star streaked into the night sky in the direction where the beautiful Empress was kept in confinement. A lone figure crashed into the prison and discovered Sang Shui was unconscious. He took her in bridal carry before bolting away like another shooting star. More than 100,000 experts were chasing him who were present in the area. The number continued to increase and become 1 million. The young boy continued to run away while he was getting chased by all the human experts in the existence of the lower world of Treasure Country. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Edited by The White Snow. Chapter 35 One Against the World. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After flying for thousands of miles, he reached deeper into the wilderness and entered the portal gate that led him in front of an old lady. Have you decided already? The old woman probed him with a smile on her face as if already knowing his answer. Is there no other option? Yu Yan asked with a hopeful glint in his eyes. As I told you, Sang Shui was born with divinity. She is considered to be the most auspicious treasure of heaven. If you abandon her, you won't have to face such obstacles. But you're blinded by the most twisted curse known as love. So the safest option to assure her safety is to finish the task we want you to do. You just need to stop the Shillong Temple and kill all people who are under their influence. This way I'll let Sang Shui take the godhood trial of the lower world. Even if she fails it, you have my promise that she will be protected by me. The old lady assured him. Okay. Please take care of her. I'll deal with the Shillong Temple. Yu Yan requested her politely. He took out a king-sized bed and a few comfy pillows from his spatial ring to place Sang Shui's body on it comfortably. The boy looked at her unconscious face before turning around to leave. His affectionate-filled eyes turned chilly as he ran past the exit of the portal gate at an incredible speed. His figure approached the big army of Shillong Temple that was marching in his direction. There were spirit rankers from warrior rank to as high as monarch rank. That bastard is there. Capture him. The commander of the Shillong Temple's army yelled and gave his orders. Thousands of monarch realm spirit rankers traveled into the sky in Yu Yan's direction. Why is that demon transformed into a sun? That's not the sun, stupid. Yu Yan was hovering in the high sky. He focused his spirit energy on his palm to cast a skill. A bright, fiery golden nova began to form there, growing in intensity with every passing moment. Oh. No. Run. The spirit rankers who were flying towards him felt threatened by the terrifying aura coming from the growing nova and started running away in different directions to escape the attack. Even the spirit rankers on the ground scattered like ants as they witnessed the wrath of Golden Dragon, the nightmare of the Western Divine Region. Heaven's obliteration. Yu Yan unleashed one of the strongest attacks that had ever been used in the history of Trasia country. An enormous golden sun that was a wave of pure energy and rippled outwards in all directions was going towards all the army that had come for his Shuar. The entire land for a few kilometers was engulfed in the radius, every living being reduced to ashes in an instant. The land was dyed with burnt soil and scattered ashes that were cleared out by the flowing wind. Yu Yan hovered in the sky with an unemotional expression. There was a chilly glint flickering in his eyes. The boy gazed at the calamity he caused one more time before streaking towards the headquarters of Shilong Temple. Along the way, he took down all the spirit rankers that were under Unholy Dragon's banner one after another. Yu Yan's golden dragon power was enough to slaughter people of the Western Divine Region, so a mere lower world wasn't much in his eyes. The only limitation was that he was not at his peak level, but it was enough for the lower world. He had cultivated in the wilderness for this very day, as Yu Yan knew this was going to happen in the future. Numerous golden sun was seen in the Trasia country's sky as millions of human experts were slaughtered by Yu Yan's terrifying attacks. He killed every single one that wanted Song Shue's life. In the end, the hardest battle was to face the girl who loved him as he was done killing everyone else. Yuna stood a few meters away from him and seemed to be a well-behaved young maiden that was loyal to her future husband. Yu Yan. Why did you do this? Why are you going against humanity for a demon? The pink-haired girl asked with a sorrowful voice, her purple eyes were moist. I don't care if she is an angel or a demon. Anyone who tries to harm my woman will get no mercy. He said in a composed manner, his black hair and clothes fluttering by the current of wind. What if it's heaven's wish to sacrifice her? She responded with bitterness in her voice. I'll destroy the heaven. His voice was filled with unwavering resolve. Would you also kill your Yuna? An affectionate-filled voice said as tears started dripping from her purple eyes. These tricks won't work on me. I know who you are. Yuna wouldn't harm her sworn sister. You're the corrupted spirit who took over her body. A chilly smile flashed on his face, as he exposed her. Ah! The pink-haired girl cried out in surprise as she didn't expect him to know the truth. Before she could react, golden chains coiled around her limbs like alive venomous snakes and wrapped around her curvaceous body. She was completely shackled into tight confinement. Yu Yan moved towards her and sealed her spirit energy. He carried her into the bridal carry, keeping her face close to his chest, and went towards the slumbering monk mountain where he engraved 1,000 immortals' sealing patterns on the stony walls inside the mountain's cave. The boy placed Yuna on the ground in front of the sealing patterns and moved his hands to her left breast to grip it roughly as the heart was located there. Ah-ang! A moan escaped from the young maiden's lips. Silver marks shone around her fleshy melons, and from those marks, a dark smoke started coming out. Gradually, it took the form of a young girl and then transformed into a slender draconian woman that shrieked in pain. Don't do this to me, you bastard! Even if you separate her from me, she will still die. The unholy dragon cried in an enraged voice. Yu Yan didn't listen to her and guided the evil spirit toward the sealing patterns he engraved. The unholy dragon was confined inside the 1,000 immortals seal in the slumbering mountain's cave. He didn't care if Shilong Temple released unholy dragon later and take over someone else's body in the future. The boy believed it was his fault that Yuna's spirit got corrupted because of Shilong Temple. If he wasn't connected to her, then they might have not targeted her. The boy also failed to save Yuna from the clutches of Shilong Temple on time. Yu Yan took Yuna in his embrace, who was gazing at him with guilt. I'm sorry, Yu Yan. She said in a feeble tone. It's not your fault. If I had treated you well, you wouldn't have had a demon in your heart. In the end, it's my fault for treating you unfairly. Yu Yan said to her while ruffling her hair. I never told you this before, but I loved you since we were very young. I had developed unknown emotions for you because we were engaged. Even if you had no future, I still found you the most capable man. Tsang Shui was able to take you from me because she was daring enough to go against her father while I was a coward who couldn't go against her grandfather's decision. She said with a sorrowful expression, her tone was laggard. People might think you're a fool if you say it out loud. The master of Shillong is a coward. Yu Yen chuckled and made fun of her. The boy understood a dying person wouldn't lie, and he knew she had feelings for him since they were young. I wish I was the master. She took over my body. It's more like a vessel of Shillong. Yuna said in a weaker voice. Yeah. He responded, caressing her cheeks. Can you kiss me one last time before I go to my eternal slumber? Yuna asked with fondness in her eyes. Okay. The boy agreed to her demand. Yu Yen lowered his head to seal her cold lips, which were soft like the petals of the rose. His tongue slid past to invade and find her as they connected in a state of deep love. A light green light enveloped their body as many green leaves started swirling around them, making them appear verdant art of nature. An elf-like figure was summoned beside the duo, which was then sucked into Yuna's body as they continued to kiss slowly and gently. His silver-grayed nature spirit went into her feeble body, regaining the life energy as she reinvigorated with a new flame. As they separated, the pink-haired beauty held him by the shoulders in a firm grip. No. Why? Did you do this? Yuna cried as Yu Yen looked devoid of energy. He guided his head to place on hers as their forehead touched. Because you're also important to me, Yuna. He said with a smile, his face losing the light from before. But you cannot live much longer without your spirit. Yuna's cheeks were streaking with tears. Yeah, but I don't want you to complain that I only ever loved Shui. She will be taken care of by the divine realm, and you have my nature spirit, so live a happy life. Yu Yen answered her in a laggard voice that was filled with the genuine care that Yuna always desired. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Edited by The White Snow. Chapter 36 Truth. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A bright portal appeared in front of the duo and a voice announced, Tsang Shui's godhood trial starts. You have been summoned to make a choice. Yu Yen stood up, one last time ruffling Yuna's pink hair, and started walking towards the bright portal. Yuna ran towards him and hugged him from behind. The boy turned around to embrace her before saying, Be a kind girl this time. If I ever come back, I don't want to see you bullying others. Saying that, he turned around to walk into the bright portal. Pink-haired beauty kneeled on the floor and cried out for the person she loved. This trial requires you to summon the person who loves you the most. So think about that person and he will appear outside this barrier near the river's edges. The middle-aged spoke to the girl who was standing in front of him as they were both surrounded by a white illuminating barrier. Noel.N. Father was saying I loved that person called Yu Yen in the past. Tsang Shui thought about the imposter Yu Yen as she was misled by her dear father. But the blonde-haired beauty's heart skipped a beat as another person's words resounded in her mind, I'll destroy the world for you. As she thought about more than one person, two bright portals appeared in the distance. Did I forgot to give Tsang Shui her memories back? A middle-aged man looked towards the girl beside her and hovered his hand as a rush of memories flooded her mind. Forgotten memories started coming to Tsang Shui. She saw the boy who he cherished and loved most in her life, but the face of Yu Yen in her memories was a shadow. Tsang Shui held her head as streaks of tears started coming down from her eyes, making a trail on her cheeks. In the distance, outside the white barrier, two figures appeared. Yu Yan and impostor Yu Yan stood at the edge of the magma stony platforms that were floating above the river of nirvana fire, the heat emanating from it almost palpable. I'm the elder Zhang who is assigned by the divine realm to guide this godhood trial. This young girl here needs the sacrifice of the person who loves her most in order for her to ascend the godhood. So to aid her you need to cross this bridge of nirvana fire river to prove your love for her, but this also means you will lose your life. So who wanna go and give her heaven? The middle-aged man said from inside the barrier to the two young boys who were standing left and right in the distance at the edge of nirvana fire river. He was the elder in charge of this trial, so his voice easily resounded near the duo. As Tsang Shui heard Elder Zhang's words, she yelled, "No, I don't agree to this trial. Don't take away my Yu Yan." She started punching the barrier as her tears streaked down her cheek uncontrollably. The blonde-haired girl kept pounding the barrier with all her strength. "Do you accept?" Elder Zhang asked the two boys who were standing in front of the nirvana fire river. "Foolish girl." The impostor, Yu Yan, looked at Tsang Shui with amusement, who was crying a dozen meters away while gazing at him and punching the barrier. Real Yu Yan could see her scarlet eyes that were focused on the other boy and crying for him as the barrier was blocking her voice to reach them. This caused something inside him to break, and his heart made of love for the girl was shattered into tiny pieces. Both of the boys opened their mouths to answer Elder Zhang. "No." "Yes." Two voices resounded in Tsang Shui's ears and she realized the truth. The figure in her memories became clear and synchronized with the boy who introduced himself as Jin Long, but the realization struck her daze and caused her to look at the real Yu Yan, who was gazing at her with a look that was asking her why she betrayed him for another person. Yu Yan's eyes stared at Tsang Shui one last time before he started walking towards the nirvana fire river. As he took his first step on the first platform, the sky crackled with thunder and roared to show respect to the boy who was going to sacrifice himself for the person he loved. His second step caused tsunamis in the seas of all worlds as enormous waves danced to express their admiration towards his selfless love. The people from every realm from lower to higher started praying to higher heaven as the phenomenal incident caused them to shiver in fear. Yu Yan's third step started the terrifying tremor in the land of all realms as many immortals and gods became fearful of the incident. "What's happening?" The Emperor of the Eastern Divine Region asked with worry. "Someone's action has caused heaven to shake and bow down in respect," the Empress said from the side, her voice sounding as if she was mesmerized by this event. His fourth step engulfed him in nirvana flame as the boy was blazing with the divine fire. Yu Yan continued to walk to the end and crumbled into ashes without looking back at the girl who cried tears of blood for him. Meng Long, who was watching all this happening, opened his eyes in the illuminated spacious cave as he realized he misunderstood his Shuer all these years. His eyes fell on the cave entrance, which was sealed by ice, and his mind proceeded thoughts at incredible speed. Meng Long commanded his system, awaken a random element and boost Sleepy Nova Spirit Tier. Meng Long's body drowned in nirvana flame as he walked towards the entrance that was blocked by ice. He kept walking as if there was no barrier created by it. The ice melted instantly as a lit-up human marched to another side of the cave. Outside, a lone figure stood in the clearing, surrounded by a pack of 30.2 demon wolves and scattered corpses of the beast as the surrounding was enveloped in rancid blood. Tsang Shui was badly injured, blood dripping from multiple wounds on her body. The girl was in bad condition by the wolves' attacks as she constantly fought them. "I need to buy my Yu Yan some more time. I cannot die yet." Despite the pain, she held her sword firmly in one hand and casted Ice Lotus Spirit skill from the other to fight to the very end. The wolves circled around her, snarling and snapping their jaws. The blonde-haired beauty braced herself, knowing that this would be her end, but a feeble smile was on her face as she thought, maybe this would aid me to calm his anger by a little. She struck out with her sword, slicing through the air, her attacks getting weaker and weaker as the girl was on verge of collapsing. The wolves continued to attack relentlessly as Tsang Shui was completely exhausted and her painful injuries were making it hard for her to continue. She stumbled and fell to her knees, barely able to lift her sword. The wolves lunged to take her life and kill her, and the girl realized her ending has come. I hope husband forgives me. Tsang Shui mumbled lightly for the last time before closing her eyes to think about the person she loved in every life. Just as all seemed lost, a strong hand coiled around her body and lifted her into the embrace. Two beautiful figures floated high in the sky, his arm wrapped around her as Tsang Shui opened her eyes to gaze at the man she loved. There were illuminating stars all around her. A brilliant light shone forth, growing brighter and brighter until it was almost blinding. Starfall Annihilation. Meng Long unleashed the Starfall, a powerful silver-grade spirit spell that summoned a shower of meteor-like stars from the sky. The stars hurtled toward the ground, leaving trails of glittering radiance in their wake as they descended. On the ground below, the 30.2 wolves wailed in fear as they sensed the upcoming threat. They scattered in all directions, but it was too late. The falling stars struck the earth with a deafening crash one after another, sending waves of dust and debris flying in all directions. A terrifying sight occurred as the wolves' bodies became charred and were sent to their eternal slumber. == // Snow note, must read, although it's not even 1% close to how Itachi was in Naruto, but Tsang Shui was also hated from the very first chapter. I wanted to make a character who was originally devoted to the main character but was hated at the start. The goal of the story was to understand that a little misunderstanding can even make apart lovers from the divine realm. Not only Meng Long but many of you also disliked Tsang Shui, who is originally a good lover in my opinion. Just gonna reveal it here as it's required for you to know for story progression that Tsang Shui wasn't involved in his reincarnation or making his Binger forget him or giving him supreme young body. It will be cleared in a future chapter as I thought to not drag their past. Additionally, Shengguan Binger along with her beautiful sister Shengguan Linger/Chioer will take the stage in the upcoming chapters. The story will focus on the 5 girls including Tsang Shui, Yuna, Shui Rou, Shengguan Binger, and her sister. These 5 girls will be in the main harem. I'll try my best to make their romance and relationship progression as natural as possible while spicy as well. _______________________ Please vote with Power Stones and Golden Tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Edited by The White Snow. Chapter 37 Playboy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I probably won't be able to hold this for much longer, Tsang Shui mumbled inwardly, looking towards the entrance of the cave where her man was giving the trial. The number of demon wolves were keep increasing and the girl was aware that she might die soon at this rate. She hovered her left hand towards the entrance while defending against the demon wolves' attack. She cast her spirit skill. A huge ice lotus materialized at the entrance of the cave, jamming the opening. Tsang Shui cast a few more ice lotuses to block the completely, which caused her 70% of spirit energy to be consumed. This should buy enough time for husband even if I lose. She thought inwardly as her heart felt relieved. Yu Yen saw his girl getting surrounded by the demon wolves. Without any time wasting he cast teleport, and appeared right in front of the blonde-haired beauty, taking her in an embrace before casting break gravity. His figure shot towards the sky with Tsang Shui in a hug at an incredible speed. He stopped the reverse gravity, pulling with his Empress Nova spirit to hover in the middle of the sky. The demon wolves couldn't understand what happened as their target vanished from sight. 2 beautiful figures floated high in the sky, his arm wrapped around her as Tsang Shui opened her eyes to gaze at the man she loved. There were illuminating stars all around her. A brilliant light shone forth, growing brighter and brighter until it was almost blinding. Ednel.co. However, what she found most mesmerizing were his azure eyes that weren't chilly like before. His eyes remind me of the old days when husband wasn't mad at me. As she realized the changes, warm lips had already enveloped hers as Yu Yan smooched her gently with his. Their intimate action was filled with longing for each other. Tsang Shui had a lot of questions in mind, but her delicate heart was crying in joy as her eyes flowed with her heavy emotions, tears streaking down her cheeks. The blonde-haired beauty couldn't express her happiness as her yearning for Yu Yan was fulfilled, from whom she got separated in the divine realm. Yu Yan could feel her soft cold lips that had a sweet and salty taste, due to Tsang Shui's blood and tear. A rosy fragrance invaded his senses as he sucked the girl lips affectionately who cherished him the most. The couple kissed each other in the sky while defeating sounds resounded in the background. The love birds were lost in the feeling of pleasure and bliss as it was enhanced because the separation was so long. If you stayed hungry all day, the food would taste the most delicious in an empty tummy. However, for the duo, they were always each other's most scrumptious dishes. After Yu Yan's wet kiss, caused by her tears, was done, he landed on the ground using gravity limit, taking Tsang Shui in his embrace, not letting her go. Have I already died? Is this a dream before I get reincarnated? The blonde-haired beauty couldn't believe this was real. She was clinging to him tightly and snuggling closely while her eyes kept dripping tears. Sob, 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 Yu Yan ruffled her blonde hair as her tears drenched his clothes. There were charred bodies of demon wolves scattered all around the place which filled the air with a scent of burnt flesh and fur. A bright light enveloped the ground in front of them and a platform ascended with a staircase, leading to a huge gate that was illuminating in silver. You have passed the first stage of the trial. You have 1 minute to exit this place or you will be thrown out of here forcefully. A majestic feminine voice resounded. Yu Yan took the blonde-haired beauty in a bridal carry and walked towards the silver-gleaming entrance. Tsang Shui kept looking at his handsome face which wasn't bitter toward her. She wrapped her hands around his neck and placed her head on his chest to hear his heartbeat once again. They appeared in a garden-like place that was filled with colorful flowers and butterflies. There was also a pond and a fountain as the place was drowned in serenity. In the distance, Yu Yan could see another crimson gate on an ascended platform. This is where you can take a break before continuing. The next stage is your final trial. If you passed it you will be given a blessing that would help you both. The next trial will require you to defeat a demon wolf at 50 spirit energy rank. Therefore, you have the option to live here until you have enough strength to clear the next stage. Even if it takes 1,000 years you should wait and cultivate here because once you walk out from that door you would either have to kill the beast or die by its rage. The imposing voice of Lady spoke once again as the couple walked into a new place. However, the love birds didn't give the lady's word much attention and were busy with themselves. What was that? Tsang Shui asked as she couldn't believe what just happened. What do you think? He said, an enigmatic glint flickering in his eyes. Aren't you mad at me like before? She asked, gazing into his affectionate-filled eyes. Yeah, I am because you're so brazen. Why didn't you tell me the truth from the start? Why is it your hobby to always hide things from me? Previously you hid the fact father was your master and then when I met you before coming here you didn't tell me it was a misunderstanding. His voice was filled with bitterness. I wanted to tell you but you never gave me a chance to speak. You only want to hear what your wish. Why did you never let me speak? How am I supposed to tell you when you aren't even ready to have a peaceful conversation with me? She berated him as the blonde-haired beauty come to believe it wasn't a dream. They were bickering like a husband-wife. Forgive me. Yu Yan said in a quiet tone. I have already forgiven you but are we really gonna be together again? She asked, her voice was filled with concern. Is there an issue? He scrunched his eyebrows, sitting on the fluffy grasses on the ground, taking Tsang Shui on his lap. Her chubby buttocks sat on his lap, he could feel their charm. Your Binger, is she gonna accept me? The blonde-haired beauty asked in a saddened voice. If she remembered her memories, then she wouldn't mind me having you as my wife, as my first condition to be his lover was that I won't ever leave the girl I already love, and she accepted it, saying that all she wants is me and my happiness, Yu Yan said in a tender voice, telling about his Binger. How can she agree? Tsang Shui asked with surprise, as she knew the world he came from wasn't a place where polygamy was natural. You can say, she was a living angel. The main reason I fell for her was that she loved me unconditionally like you. I was a drunkard on earth, not taking anyone seriously, and Binger was the one who brought me out of hell. She loved me even though I didn't reciprocate her love. Binger loved my darkness and told me that my imperfections make me perfect. Even if she doesn't remember me because of those divine realm people's plan, I still need to find her and do the same as what she did for me in my life on earth. I'll make her fall for me and create new memories so she doesn't require her past to be mine. However, do you have any problem with me having another woman? He explained and asked his first lady the same question she asked him for Binger. Tsang Shui wanted to know if Binger would accept her, while Yu Yan wanted to know if his wife would accept his girlfriend, since it was he who messed everything up. Does it even matter? You are already a playboy since your first life. You had stolen the first kiss of your wife and Yuna. Tsang Shui said with puffed cheeks. Aren't you the one who let me be born with a supreme young body? Yu Yan asked with a frown. The boy knew that Binger memories were sealed by the divine realm people, as he knew Tsang Shui wouldn't have done that. But he was suspicious that she might have given him supreme young body, so he made to accept her. Equals slash forward slash equals. Snow note, please help me decide two things. 1. Which name do you guys want to follow for dialogue tags? A equals Yu Yan, B equals Meng Long. 2. Fifth harem member name, the sister of Shangguan Binger. A equals Shangguan Linger, B equals Shangguan Qiuer. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Edited by The White Snow. Chapter 38, An Intense Kiss in the Lake. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Would you believe me if I tell you it wasn't me? She asked to probe him, as a few dozen minutes ago he wouldn't have listened to her. I already misunderstand you for so many years. I cannot repeat the same mistake of not believing you. He responded in a calm voice. It has something to do with heaven's will. They let you have supreme young body while I was given the supreme yin body. None of us can cultivate without each other unless we betray one another. She answered him in a nonchalant voice. Yuna's previous words sounded in his thought as he recalled what she was saying when the trial started. Don't be too happy. Your wife is only at the 20.2 spirit energy rank. You both are doomed. How is she only at 20 ranks? Isn't she a goddess? Shouldn't you know more about your family matters? Yu Yan remembered that Tsang Shui was only at 20.2 spirit energy ranks. This answered his question of why her spirit energy didn't advance greatly. That was because she also couldn't cultivate without a partner. It seems all the young treasure present in the royal's treasury was only able to boost her spirit energy to 20.2 ranks. He mumbled inwardly. Seeing him lost in contemplation, the girl decided to ask the concerning questions at hand. Have you thought about how are we going to go out of this place? Tsang Shui asked. Our only choice is to dual cultivate. It's heaven's wish, we cannot decline it, Yu Yan said in a tone that sounded as if he was doing it for the greater good, looking at his wife with a mysterious glint in his eyes. Don't tell me. Tsang Shui's face became red as she understood the meaning behind his twisted words. You mentioned that it was given to us by the will of heaven. So we can only make good use of it as we are stuck here. Moreover, we don't have another option. He responded in a composed manner, making the girl's face coyish once again. Okay. But let's wait for a little. she said in a quiet tone, redness spreading over her neck. They spend their time in the shrine-like garden and explored it together. There was clear lake water, with flowers blooming at the edges. The garden was filled with different kinds of fruits which the couple tasted. It was sweet in taste that satisfied their hunger. Sang Shui placed a bed near the lakeside and the couple laid down on it, embracing each other. As time passed, the boy fell asleep since he was tired from using a lot of spirit energy in the previous battle. The blonde-haired beauty slowly inclined her body, placing her head on Yu Yan's arms. She gazed at him quietly, seeing his sleeping, handsome face. She slowly reached out with her hands towards his hair to ruffle it with affection and caressed his cheeks. The blonde-haired beauty was scared that she might wake him up, so she was gentle with her action and moved her fingers to caress his handsome face and stroked his lips. Touching his lips caused her to immediately feel a burst of energy that was rising within her as if a fresh flower bud ready to bloom into a mesmerizing flower. A redness started to spread around her neck as she blushed as a summer rose. She placed her head on his chest to listen his heartbeat and closed her eyes to sleep in relaxation. This was her happiest place, sleeping in her man's embrace. After an hour, Yu Yan opened his eyes. The stars were glittering in the sky along with a moon that was illuminating the garden to make it prettier than ever. He felt something soft on his body as he discovered the blonde-haired girl was laying on his chest. Her ravishing figure was curled in his hug like a beautiful lotus in the pond. As he ruffled her hair, she woke up with a smile. "Let me take a bath," the boy mumbled. He had decided to execute his plan soon, but before that, he wanted to freshen up. Yu Yan moved to kiss her soft lips and climbed down from the bed. /////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////// themselves. Seeing him going into the water, the blonde-haired girl raised the hem of her skirt and followed her man to immerse herself in the lake. She moved closer to Yu Yen and helped him to wash his back with her delicate hands. Feeling her soft hands, he turned around to look at her. "What happened?" she asked with a smile and washed his chest with the hand that roamed around his muscular body. The girl was treating him like a little child and helping to give him a bath as if she was a doting mother. He didn't answer and kept gazing at her as Yu Yan enjoyed her soft skin caressing his body. He watched her adorable action quietly, fabricating his own plan. The boy looked into her scarlet eyes and felt like she was a fairy under the starry sky. He wrapped his hands around her neck and moved his face to seal her lips with his. A muffling cry escaped the girl's mouth as she was not prepared for the surprise kiss. However, it didn't take her long to get along with his kiss as she gently sucked his lips. The scent of rose enveloped the senses of the boy as he could feel her feathery lips rubbing against his. The girl felt an electric shock as his tongue slipped into her lips and wrestled with one another. His warm lips and squishy tongue spread pleasure throughout her mind and body, causing her delicate heart to tickle. With each other's tongues being sucked by one another so wildly, the couple was drowned in immense pleasure. Unable to restrain her emotions, in the midst of his insatiable kiss, she returned his kiss with her instincts. Sang Shui was slow in the beginning, but she got wild with time. In the end, she managed to match her rhythm to his in just a dozen seconds. This caused her to feel embarrassed. Her sexual instincts and the sensual feeling on her body caused the blonde-haired girl to close her eyes as they trembled in pleasure, enjoying his rough kiss. She wrapped her arms around his neck, placing herself onto his chest, raising her face to continue with the kiss. For the love bird, the lake, the flower, the water, the sky, the day, the night, even the issue of the next trial, everything faded away as if nothing mattered to them. For them, there was only one thing, and that was the sweet feeling of their lips twirling against one another. The girl had waited for him very long because of a bad misunderstanding caused by the divine realm. Sang Shui didn't even care if she died right now as her darling had accepted her in his heart. However, deep down inside she also wished to be with him forever and live happily ever after. Yu Yan moved to remove her clothes and reveal her beautiful body. When he took off her bra, she didn't resist as her breasts immediately blossomed in front of the boy's eyes, along with a dot of pinkish red. The blonde-haired beauty shyly buried her head into his chest. She was embarrassed to look into his eyes, afraid that he would make fun of her and ask where her domineering behavior had disappeared. Yu Yan took her in bridal carry as she snuggled in his embrace, not daring to face him. Her naked body curled in his hug as he carried the trembling girl to their bedding. She was as soft as a silk and felt light as a feather since the boy had a muscular body and also 11 spirit energy rank. Yu Yan could feel her wet skin as he carried her. A refreshing smooth sweet rosy scent was swirling around him. She looked like the scrumptious dish that not even gods were allowed to savor. The girl was red from getting stripped by her man and simply attacked his chest with her baring teeth in a gentle force, as the little kitty bit him in an adorable manner. Yu Yan placed her on their bed that Sang Shui had taken out from her spatial ring earlier. Under the starry sky, he was mesmerized by her otherworldly beauty, she even paled the northern divine region goddess in comparison. Her neck was moistened by the lake water as Yu Yan moved to bite it and nibble it gently, making the girl say, "It tickles." The girl had covered her bosom with her hands as she was embarrassed to be naked, but his heart thumped seeing the cleavage between her plumpy breast. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Edited by The White Snow. Chapter 39. Please be gentle, husband. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The girl had covered her bosom with her hands as she was embarrassed to be naked, but his heart thumped seeing the cleavage between her plumpy breast. Her 2 mounds were firm, rounded, bigger than average, and ideal in every aspect. They were the true definition of perfection, neither too small nor too enormous. However, a person wouldn't care about size when love is true. Sizes were all useless if you loved someone's personality and heart. Caring about sizes was just too foolish. Yu Yan's eyes moved down her curvaceous waist, an adorable navel welcomed his vision. Sang Shui secretly looked at Yu Yan, who was mesmerized by the majesty of her beautiful naked body, making her feel embarrassed and joyous at the same time. Husband, a mosquito-like voice escaped her lips, and a coyish expression flickered on her adorable face. The blonde-haired girl's voice woke him up from gazing at her magnificent figure. Yu Yan come back to realize and cursed himself inwardly as he lost focus. Seeing her boy soak in water, Sang Shui brought out a towel to wipe his head, dotting like a mother even though she was herself naked. She was truly an ideal wife one could have who knew how to serve in her every life. Yu took the towel from her hand and pulled her towards himself, kissing her lips once again. They hugged each other and smooched like before, drowning in pleasure once again. Their kiss was intense this time as hot energy rushed into their body. Yu Yan's hands slowly moved downwards and caressed between her thighs, making Sang Shui's heart beat frantically fast. He brought his hands up and invaded her lower lip. The blonde-haired girl let out a surprised moan. Sang Shui couldn't get used to the sensation of his warm fingers at her sensitive place, but she didn't reject him and controlled her desire to push him away. She was feeling an electric shock as the boy's hand stroked her flower bud. Sang Shui let out another moan to show her pleasure. Because of the arousal, the girl's body started feeling hot. Her unique rosy scent enveloped them as Yu Yan continued to kiss her and stroke her lower lips below her navel. Their lips parted as he pushed her body down the bed carefully. He took out his majestic shaft, which was hot and hard, filled with eagerness to break the princess's castle and conquer her. The girl felt embarrassed as Yu Yan brushed it against her thighs, gently making it close to invading her. Her heartbeat ran unstable as her creamy breast went up and down from the nervousness of heavy breathing. She closed her eyes as his warm rod brushed across her thighs, making her tremble. As it was getting close, the blonde-haired beauty felt panic as she knew what would happen next. She was happy that they were finally going to become one. Be gentle. Her pleading with a mosquito-like voice resounded. She was afraid of his long shaft as it looked fierce and imposing. Don't worry, Schwer, he responded as if doing some important business and assured her of safety. Yu Yan wanted to be a great general who had emerged a winner in the battle fought on war ground of a bed. However, he needed to be gentle as this was Zhang Shui's first time. Seeing his nervousness, the blonde-haired beauty mother instinct awakened as she spread her legs to open her thigh wide, suppressing the embarrassment in her heart for her dear sweetheart. She didn't want to see him stressing about him and wanted what he desired. As Yu Yan's rod was near her opening, she gently guided him towards it. The warrior with raised spear rode his horse and charged forward to penetrate the princess castle's gate. With a majestic strike, he invaded her, causing a sudden panic spread on the girl's bewitching face. Zhang Shui cried out in pain as her hymen was broken with one attack. The blonde-haired beauty clutched the blanket and scrunched her eyebrows and closed her eyes. A gentle smile mixed with pleasure and pain spread on her lovable face. The love birds became one and resonated with their affection for each other. Does it hurt? Yu Yan asked with worry as he was concerned he had hurt Zhang Shui with his rough advancement. Please be gentle, husband. Zhang Shui begged as the boy was roughly riding onto her. She realized his shaft was well endowed and bigger as it completely hit her insides as if it would ravage them completely. The size of his rod caused her inside to feel unbearable since it was her first time and wasn't prepared to handle it. The first time always pained a lot of a woman, so a man needed to be very careful and gentle. At first, Zhang Shui thought she was fearing his advance to break her seal and she might not able to endure it, but the blonde-haired beauty discovered she still handled it. When heaven made a man and woman, they created woman to endure more pain than man, otherwise how else could their bloodline be continued? Giving birth was already a painful matter and there was also women's monthly cycle. That Zhang Shui couldn't help but was showing her gratitude towards the supreme power who created all living beings this way, giving them what they required. Seeing his fierce dragon, she doubted since he was blessed physically to have such a mighty build that was focused on his supreme young body. Zhang Shui guided his head and kissed him head to calm down the fire within her man. She also wrapped her arms and legs around him tightly, encouraging his intrusion with joy and pain. The girl was already his loyal wife. It was a blissful moment for her and a great responsibility to serve her husband, as well as love him to the fullest. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Edited by The White Snow. Chapter 41 Young Cultivation *. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After Yu Yan successfully broke the young maiden's delicate barrier and took her virginity, the love birds had become one. A hot energy was released from the boy as it flowed around her inside. In response, a cold one was unleashed from the blonde-haired beauty. We need to start the yin-yang cultivation and refine our energy. Yu Yan mumbled. Zhang Shui nodded with her bewitching face that was bashful due to their intimate business, and they started dual cultivating with an ecstatic heart. Nirvana flame and her ice lotus swirled around them, enveloping them in a combined glowing sphere, dyeing them in a pleasing energy. It spread on their body as it tickles their skin in an enjoyable warmth. However, the Nirvana flame and ice lotus didn't affect their bed as it was hovering above them and swirling in an aesthetic way. The couple was truly made for each other, as Nirvana flame was known to be yang energy while the ice lotus spirit was a yin essence. Additionally, the love birds were blessed with supreme yin and yang body which boosted their dual cultivation to a higher level. If Yu Yan cultivated someone who didn't have at least these three within them and matched him perfectly, the boy wouldn't have received such advantageous results as much as he would benefit with Zhang Shui. Although Shuiro also had ice-type spirit, but she lacked a supreme yin body. This made Zhang Shui and Yu Yan the most ideal candidate for each other to be a couple, which assured the claim. Truly blessed by heaven. As they continued, their yin-yang energy refined each other's and increased their spirit energy. After refining the energy, Yu Yan dived down on her creamy melons and used his tongue to savor them to his heart's desire. As soon as she felt his tongue flicking across her pinkish nipple, the blonde-haired beauty shivered with joy and nervousness, her heart beat thumping at a fast rate. Feeling her nipples hard and erect beneath his tongue, the boy could barely keep himself from devouring the whole thing. But he restrained himself long enough to savor it slowly, letting his lips linger over every crease and valley of her twin peaks. Yu Yan's teeth sink deep into her nipple, eliciting a sharp cry from her. Ang, a cute moan escaped her lips to show her pleasure as she closed her eyes and clutched the bedsheets once again. His lips began to move across her other mound, seeking out its twin and making her feel the warmth and wetness on her skin. The boy could feel her soft, supple breast, which was exceptionally good. Her rosy aroma was enjoyable and he loved her. Yu Yan savored her breast passionately while he squeezed the other one with a gentle grope between his fingers, feeling the swell of her breast beneath his palm. Love birds were drowned in pleasure and enjoyed each other's affection until they were tired and fell asleep. The next day when Yu Yan woke up from his sleep, he saw Zhang Shui laying on top of him and gazing at him with her affection-filled eyes. He stood up and took her in his embrace, as he moved his hands to tease her more. She stopped his naughty hand that was going to invade her lower lip and started kissing his face to appease him. The boy moved his hands and caressed her butt, which was chubby and bouncy, he could feel its elasticity and smoothness. Zhang Shui hit him gently on the shoulder as he teased her. Yu Yan moved his hands to fondle her breast before kissing her again. She didn't resist him because she was a loyal, loving wife and wanted to make him happy. Her snow-white mounds pressed against his chest beneath his hands as the couple kissed each other. As they parted their lips, Yu Yan took out a yang pill and consumed it while looking at Zhang Shui, whose eyes flickered with terror, knowing what would happen next. The couple went down again for a second round of wrestling. This continued until they had refined their stored yin-yang energy. Zhang Shui's spirit rank was at 20.2, so she had a high level of accumulated yin energy than Yu Yan. The boy had to bring out 5 of the 7 yang energy pill to continue their dual cultivation until Zhang Shui fully refined her stored yin energy. The couple enjoyed living together and loving each other in the shrine-like garden for 6 days before they were prepared for the final trial. On the 7th day, when the couple freshened up, Yu Yan checked the pending notifications. A few notifications were displayed in front of Yu Yan's eyes. For some reason, Zhang Shui was also able to see these system messages. Do you think we can clear the next stage with our current power? The blonde-haired beauty asked in a concerned voice, as she read the notifications with him. We should be able to if the beast is at 50 rank, but I'll need to spend all my spirit energy to attack it. Yu Yan said in a calm tone. She placed her head on his chest and asked with an expectant tone, "What would you do after we go out of here? Would you pretend to be a stranger? Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Edited by The White Snow.